Oh, the life of a mum. Hey, it's Veena V and welcome to Mum to Millionaire. This is the place if you want to excel in business and life. Today on the show we have got a gorgeous, beautiful within and without mum of one. Her name is Shirina Carstens. Woo, woo, woo. Shireen, I'm so glad I've got you on the podcast. Yes. I think it's been about a year that you should have got on here, and finally we've made it happen.
We've made it happen, guys.
Made it happen. So firstly, tell us about yourself, and because your story is very inspirational.
Apparently so.
No, not apparently so, it is. And I think people listening to this, I think once they hear it, they'll just be like, wow. I think sometimes you hear a story and you think, oh my God, I actually need to do something with my life.
My name's Shirina Carstens, go by the name of SC, and I am the founder of a company called Beauty From Within. Beauty From Within came when I was at a rock bottom situation in my life. Basically, I had my child 5 years ago, beautiful daughter, and when I had it, I thought it was going to be life-changing. It was, but in two ways I would never imagine. One was motherhood, which was yay, kind of, and then the other one was emotionally. Basically, I've been through a lot in my life, and I didn't realize that having a child was going to impact me as a mum. So what basically happened was, unfortunately, I got sick after having my daughter, and this led on to a long journey of having to get better. Through that journey, I had episodes of psychosis. I had moments where I was seeing things, hallucinating. I completely lost my memory. I lost all faculties, if you want to say.
When you were going through that, can you actually remember it? Like did you know something was wrong, or do you know?
It was, it's kind of weird to explain it, because at the time, some elements I knew it was happening, but then there was some elements that was a blur.
Yeah.
So when I look back now, I don't remember everything.
Yeah.
But we did film a lot of it.
Right.
Well, not we, my family.
Yeah.
Because they were sort of, and friends, they were really counting on the fact that I was going to come back. They were like, this is not her. You know, give her a couple of days. Well, it went on for months.
And do you know how it started? Was it straight after you had your daughter, or was there like time in between?
No, it wasn't straight after. So it was about 4 days later. The first signs started to show. So I had my daughter. The birth was amazing. You know, I had a 12-hour labour, mostly laboured at home, got to the hospital, and I had her within 15 minutes. Great. Wow. Fantastic. It was great.
Just let out of you.
she was here, you know. I remember holding her, but I do remember feeling, this is going to sound bad, but I'm just being honest. When I held her, I thought there was supposed to be another feeling I was meant to feel, like really like, yay, this is my child. I wasn't feeling like, I wasn't sad, but I was just like, oh, yeah.
That's complete. I'm so glad you said it, because I think a lot of mums go through that, including me.
Wow.
It's like when I had my son, it was literally like, okay, this is my baby, but then that was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like everyone else is like so happy that they've got their child, and I was like, is there something wrong with me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, because we were both quite young. I was just turned 22.
25.
So we were both relatively, I mean, the
youngish
day and age,
Well, that's old now, but yeah.
But I think, like, to me, it came as a complete shock. I was just like, yeah, on top of the world, radio presenter, woohoo! And then to have a baby, it was just not on my agenda. I know you've always wanted a child.
I wanted children. It was a shock in the sense of it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
But because in my mindset, I always knew I was going to have children. Yeah. Whenever it came, I was just like, woohoo!
Yeah.
I do feel that I didn't think about the journey I was about to embrace, you know, of being a mum, what it takes. And I think that because some of my background includes being in care and not having that foundation of parents, suddenly it hit me like, how am I going to be a mum? What does a mum look like? I did have, don't get me wrong, I did have amazing women in my life at peaks and periods in my life. Like I had my grandmother, I had a foster mother that did take me on as her own. I did have other people in my life, but they weren't like my mum kind of thing. So I think it was the initial, you've got this baby, and then now you've got to look after it. The only thing that really stood inside of me, outside of baby, was a dream. I had a dream, and I'd had this dream for years, but for some reason it became more apparent at this point when I was very low. Even the doctors basically nearly gave up on me. They were just like, no, she's...
And at this point, were you just in hospital?
I was just in hospital. Yeah, I was just in hospital, but my body was failing with the thing that happened, the thing that was taken over. It was really quick. It was just, you know, so they're having to counteract it with lots of drugs, and it just was a nightmare.
And at this point, where, I mean, obviously your daughter wouldn't remember this, but who was looking after your daughter at that point? And how did you, again, when you were just in hospital for, how long were you in hospital for?
I think it was about two weeks.
Wow, so that is a long time to just be in hospital.
Yeah.
Can you even remember then, like, did you remember, like, did you think in your head, what's my daughter doing? Or again, was it just...
So when I was in hospital, oh, by the way, her dad had her, and her dad's family.
Yeah.
They would bring her every day to me, but there did come a point when I kind of forgot who she was.
Oh my God.
So I am grateful for the fact they continually kept on. Brilliant. This is your daughter, you know. And then it hit me one of the days, like a week down the line. Where's my kids? Oh my God! Like, go get her. I want to see her.
Yeah.
You know.
Did the doctor? Because I think for a lot of people maybe listening to this, they might just think, how does that happen? Did you get any explanation from the doctor after to why? Was it postnatal depression, a very severe form, or do they know the cause? Did they know?
So apparently what I contracted was strep B. It's a blood-related disease that basically seeps into your pores, into your bones, and it's supposed to basically shut you down slowly. That is what it's known for. I actually knew a woman that, I say knew, the woman in the room that I was in, she had it as well, but she passed away. So it is known for, you know, quite bad things. They didn't actually explain to me. I think I'm still waiting for that explanation.
Oh, wow.
Because they didn't know at the time either, fully about it.
Yeah.
It's only now I'm hearing on the news every now and then another woman's contracted it. But at the time, it wasn't really known, and it was very hush-hush. It was my family that demanded, you need to tell us what's going on with her. Because can you imagine seeing someone laying in a bed who's supposed to be this powerful, strong woman who's disintegrating by the minute? I was getting skinnier. I went down to like 3-4 stones.
Oh, God.
You know, mentally I was disappearing. Everything was just, I was going, you know? So yeah, they didn't really explain to me, but when I did my research, all the symptoms I had were in line with what they said I had. So.
That's so awful.
Yes.
And then how did you bring yourself out? So now you're kind of back home, you've been discharged, and then by then you must have had, you know, realised kind of what had gone on. How did you, because I think a lot of people would feel sorry for themselves. Did that happen to you? And how did you eventually get yourself out to what we're seeing now and hearing now? How did you eventually get to this stage?
It still was a process.
Yeah.
Okay, so going home was weird because something that happened afterwards was everything felt brand new. Like I had this super appreciation for everything suddenly. Like when I went home, I was like, wow, this is my home. So grateful. And then to hear you've got a job, and I'm like, I've got a job, oh my God. So it was a learning curve because I literally had to learn everything again. I had to learn how to speak again. I had to learn how to do a lot of things again. My coordination wasn't good. And so for the next 6 months after that, it was like learning.
Yeah.
So it was fun. And I think because it was like that, it wasn't a down.
Yeah. But then even then you had a different mentality.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, even just using that word fun, some people, that's not fun.
I know.
So you have to be, I think as well, if a mum's listening to this right now and they're feeling crap about everything, it's like you have to change that. It's all to do with your mind.
Yeah.
I really believe that. Because some people would literally be in shock that that was fun. That is not fun, learning to write again, learning to walk. But that's what your mindset got you through that.
I think it was because, as I went back to in the beginning, I had a dream. And my goal was that I was not going to be bedridden for the rest of my life. I'm not going to let this thing beat me. Unfortunately, because of how bad it went, I do have some of it still. So I still struggle every day. But I didn't want to let this thing beat me. And more so, I have this little girl who's relying on me. Am I just going to lay there in bed and just be feeling sorry for myself for the rest of my life? And being I had seen and heard on the news people have died from this. And I said, hell no, that's not going to be me. And so the two reasons was the dream. Sorry,
that was a fire alarm, by the way. You just heard that. I had to address the elephant in the room there.
So the dream was my business, and the second thing was my daughter. She was the reason why. And I wanted to be able to sit down and do her homework with her. I wanted to be able to communicate. I wanted to be able to have a free mind without voices, without darkness. So in order to do that, I had to do stuff that was going to get me out of that. So some of the things I did was watching videos of people that inspire me, like Oprah, like TD Jakes, for example. And
I think that is a good tip in general, is to find inspiration. If there's no kind of motivational inspiration around you, it's like go and find it yourself. Because you will
literally
find it.
And just kind of making sure that the foundation is concrete. So making sure that I love me. And that's kind of where Beauty From Within came from. Because I suddenly thought, how many other people feel like this sometimes, that I could possibly empower from coming back from something like that to now doing the things that I do. And I realised...
when you look at you wouldn't realise that. It's like all of us have a story, don't we? And when you look at someone, you just don't know what they've been through. That's why I love your brand, Beauty From Within, because it really is. You need to be beautiful from within to that exude.
And the other thing, when you say, why did I not feel sorry for myself? I knew it was happening for a reason. And now I couldn't embody beauty from within if I didn't go through that journey.
Exactly.
Now, for example, my love or my empathy to humans is completely different. I don't judge anyone now, where before I used to. Now, I look at a homeless person and I'll sit on the floor with them and eat with them. As well as go to a business networking event with billionaires. That's the luxury I've been given, and the gift of life, to be able to meet people where they are.
And I think we all need to.
We should be like that, but we don't. And I think sometimes people like me, they call me, the doctors call me a walking miracle, but the truth is we all are a miracle.
That's a good name for a book, by the way. Coming in 2018.
Well,
walking miracle. I'm not even joking. I don't know why she's laughing. So.
We'll see. But yeah, the truth is that when you realise how valuable life is, and I realised that in a second it could have been gone. In a second my daughter could have been a motherless child like I was. In a second her father could have been a single dad, not because of a bad reason. I died, what could you have done? I feel like I value those things more, and it makes me want to be a better person, and maybe if I can sprinkle a bit of that dust everywhere I go, you know. So that's basically where Beauty From Within came from. It didn't come from a business seminar or a fantastic idea. It came when I was flat out on my back, when I got told I had blah time to live, when everything looked so dark. That's when the words came to me. And I said, I'm going to go and do a creative company and change people's lives. That's what I'm going to do. And they looked at me and really thought, okay, she's really gone now. Okay, confirmed. But you know, 5 years on, well, we're not 5 years yet, 4.5 years now, I can exhale and say I'm actually grateful for it. Now my life is so different, and it's made me be a mum, you know. It's not easy, but at the same time, what journey is. And at the end of the day, when you really want something, there's always some task to get it done. Oh yeah, by the way, I'll tell you something funny. 2016, Shirina just realised she's a mum.
It's like you had a 5-year-old child.
And I just realised, you know, this year I spoke at a mum's event.
And that's when you realised.
That's when I realised. And it's because I've been Shirina Carstens and my daughter's been my daughter and business has been business, but I never thought.
Yeah.
The whole reason I'm doing my business is because Shirina, the person, has gone through whatever and had a child. And that was the reason I wanted to do it in the first place.
I think
You know?
we always have to remember why we are doing stuff.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that before as well. That you have to remember why you're doing it. If you're working so hard, you're doing it for your child, but then you don't see your child. So how is that actually seeing? Well, it's just.
That's so true.
And we have to have these harsh lessons and talk to ourselves like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because okay, this is going to sound extreme, but I don't care. What if you're working so hard now because you do want to have that dream life, the nice car, what if you die tomorrow?
I know.
And then your son or daughter or
neglected.
children have not seen you for 2 years because you're just working so hard.
Yeah.
And I get it. And I know we all need money to survive, but I think sometimes we all need to take a step back.
I think something I've embraced a lot more in the last, truthfully, 2 years, is enjoying and embracing the process. For example, my dream was for her 5th birthday, from the day she was born, yes, in that moment, to take her on her first holiday when she's 5. That was my dream. And 2016, I did that. We went on our first holiday.
Wow.
And I cried when we were on the plane. She was just like, oh, it's an airplane. And I'm just like,
I would be
do you know what
crying
I've
outside
done?
the window like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Like, you know, I did that and it made me realise the power of now. There's a book called The Power of Now, but also the power of now because you might die tomorrow, God forbid. And then what would she say?
Yeah.
At least now she can say, my mum is taking me Chesington, my mum is taking me Fort Park, we've been to the zoo, we've had picnics in the park in the snow.
You've created those memories already. It's not creating the memories which could be.
Yeah.
You've done it.
That's right.
I think we forget with children that they remember, like my son remembers me taking him to the park and having an amazing picnic. He doesn't remember his dad buying him £100 Hirachis.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because they grow out of it.
Exactly.
So I read the book, The 5 Love Languages for Children.
Oh, wow.
And so don't ask me the author, but the 5 love languages for children, I've got the adult one as well. So I learned a lot about myself. So this book helps you to learn your love language. And I'm not just talking relationships. That's good, but I'm talking about learning your child's love language so you know how they reciprocate what love is. So some parents, because they had a bad childhood, they'll continually buy stuff. Their child will be in the latest head to toe, all the toys, but then that child's love language is connection.
Yeah.
So you buy your child an iPad and they go and sit in their room when really they want to sit next to you.
Yeah.
Another love language is affirmation. That's my daughter, as confident as she is. She's an affirmation baby.
Yeah.
You have to tell her how great she is, or if you tell her how wrong she is, tell her how she can do it better.
Yeah.
She loves, okay, so what can I do next? She's 5, right? So, you know, learning your child's love language will also determine whether I take a job or not. Because I know my daughter, she likes affirmation and she likes experiences.
Yeah.
So if I'm so busy taking jobs that brings in the money for the experience, but we don't have the time,
Yeah.
I'm not fulfilling the role properly. So these are the things that, you know, I juggle in my mind, which helps with the business, because then it helps me outsource and look for other ways to still create that lifestyle quote. And I'm not there yet, by the way, I am not there yet, but we're still on the journey. But I am now moving into a place that I never thought I'd be in, which is still amazing. And I know I'm literally at the tip of the iceberg. I'm just at the very beginning, but I'm so grateful for where I am.
This girl is gonna explode.
I'm so grateful for where I am, and I know that I pack a lot of power. And mummies out there, I just want to say to you, don't rush. What comes quick goes quick.
Oh my God, yeah. I wish I had this Seriously, it's that whole thing. By the age of 30, I want to be married, by 2 children, and then you somehow feel like a failure if you haven't done it. Or even us mums, when we're starting a business, we think you need to be making money straight away. Obviously, we need to do that, but that's not the reality.
A lot of your business first, Beauty From Within for 2 years didn't make money, and it was known to be a theatre production at the time. We've now changed what we're doing, but before it was a theatre production, So when people say, oh, so when's your next one? And I'm like, oh, not till next year. That makes no sense. You're a theatre company, they know theatre makes money, but you can only do 1 show a year. Yeah, because I have to work to make the money and
to do
you know. But the truth is as well, research, because the truth is, if you run and go and do what your idea, you're not going to see all the options that you have available that could help you make your team and do it a lot more better, right? Fast doesn't always mean you made it. Sometimes you're running fast into a dead end.
And sometimes you're running so fast you actually miss things along the way. I personally would rather enjoy the journey, learn stuff along the way, rather than just go, oh yeah, we've done it. What have I learned from that? How is that progressing?
And how valuable are you? Right? I know that if I die today, people remember Beauty From Within for a fact. Like, God forbid. But if anything happened to me, I know for a fact there's a lot of people that could say, yeah, I knew her for Beauty From Within. And that's just like 4 years in. I want it to be that something stands in that name, you know? So yeah, I would say don't run quickly. Take your time. You know, just think of a nice leg of lamb. If you rush and cook it, it's going to be really hard and not taste as nice as when you slow cook it and it drips off the bone and I love food. But yeah, do you know what I mean? There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Like you cut your fork, it's just, can you imagine your life like that? Just,
we want that juicy, slow cooked lamb.
We do. I do. Because you know why? I would hate to work for 6 years, for example, you know, and then lose it all. Then what do you have? Nothing. But if you slow cook it, if you lose some, you still got some, because you've got a foundation to stand on. Whereas normal people that do it fast don't have anything. They're just grabbing anything that they can. And then when they lose it, you lose it. There's no foundation for it. And that's something I've learned in the process of like the last 18 months. Your foundation is important because that will determine whether you grow or you stunt yourself.
Please connect with Shirina. She is seriously amazing. Please support her company. She's doing amazing things. All of her details will be on the website, mumtomillionaire.com. Is there anywhere else you want people to contact you?
You can, if you're on social medias, you can catch me on Instagram. It's B_F_within.
Make sure you do connect. This is what Mum to Mill is all about, inspiring each other, supporting each other. Thank you so much for watching. This was Mum to Millionaire.